Hello, hello. Welcome back to another conversation. This is Robbie Ferguson. I've got Carlos Galan
Yep.
from Galan's
Meat Market and Deli.
Meat Market and Deli.
That's right.
It's pretty nice. We go there all the time and have lunch and stuff, so we enjoy it.
Thank you.
I'm happy to have you today. Thank you for coming out.
Oh, thank you for the invite.
We wanted to just talk about business, talk about your business, and just normal stuff, right? The normal stuff in our life.
Keeping it free flowing, absolutely. I mean, just to introduce myself a little bit. My name again, like you just mentioned, Carlos Galan. Me and my wife, Kimberly Galan, we are the owners of Galan's Meat Market and Deli, which we started our first location. Inception was 2018, and we quickly after that we migrated down to Bullitt County here, and we opened up our Shepherdsville location, located right here at 1256 State Road 44 here east. Yep. Yeah,
Highway 44 is what we always call it.
Okay,
yeah.
well, I'm more, coming from the Florida side.
Yeah.
It's just everything that has a number or a hashtag to it, we call it State Road.
Right, and it's funny because on Google Maps it's called Old Mill Road. And it's like, where's Old Mill Road? I've been out here for 40 plus years. I'm not sure where Old Mill Road is, but it's the road that I call 44. I'm like, okay, we go by the number, so it is State Road 44. You're right.
So great. So we just opened that about a year and a half ago, our location in Shepherdsville. And we're so excited to just announce that November 1st, so just a little less than a month ago, we opened our Mount Washington location, located at 435 North Bardstown Road. That was 27 days ago. So we're excited, and that store is rolling. So we're excited to just be able to service the, just keep expanding in different Kentucky communities, and obviously looking for much more growth. So, and we'll talk a little bit more about that here as we continue the conversation.
So in North Bardstown Road, we're talking right in the city, not on the bypass. So I mean, it's right there. What's beside you?
So we're sandwiched in between. Everybody knows these are landmarks between Sissy's Tacos.
Okay.
And Dairy Queen.
Okay. Yes. I mean, I know exactly where you're at.
So we're sandwiched right in, more leaning towards the Dairy Queen side. We're almost on that same plaza. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Very nice.
Yes.
And is that working out pretty good so far?
I'll tell you what. When you open up a new business, as you all know, you don't. It's really hard to forecast numbers because there's nothing to go by, right? There's nothing really to there's no comp sales, no history, no data. So as a big box retailer myself, being a big box retailer, working on the multi-site business side of it, you open a lot of stores, and you got to forecast numbers, just whether you're following data from if you have existing stores, or you just got to come up with your own equation, right? You got to set up some type of forecast. And my forecast was pretty aggressive when it came to opening this store because there's a lot of things that factor in there. There's the holidays coming up. I mean, there's just really when you open a location, I think that should be a little more when you open it, how you open it, and why you open it. I think it should be more of a tactical, strategic decision. And this one was really worked out for us to the degree where we haven't even finished the first month, but so far we're 35% over forecast
nice.
sales.
Yeah, very nice.
So,
I believe Mount Washington's going to be really good to you. It's the people that's out there. I think that they're going to be really good to you and come in.
It's a tight knit community and it's a big Facebook community. I have learned that sometimes there's communities that they vary when it comes to the social media presence and how active they are. We have, in the short period of time and data that we've collected so far, you could tell it's big social media when it comes to Facebook, at least very active on Facebook. So you get that return comes quickly. You can post something quick, and within 30 minutes, people are already asking, for that special
right.
or
Where's
that.
it at? Where? Yeah.
Correct. There's a lag in, historically what I've seen, there's always a little lag in here in Shepherd. But, Shepherdsville's been kind of the same to us a bit. Just there's a little lag there. And downtown, there's a much more, and I don't know if it's because at this point is how broad population is, and having more options, being in a bigger city, competition. So, but again, I am happy to say and excited to say that all stores are doing phenomenal, and we want to keep it that way.
Right, right. Because your other one, the first one's down in Portland, right?
Correct. We are located on 2801 West Market Street, so it's right in the Portland community. Correct?
Nice,
Yes.
nice.
Right in the middle of that food desert. Yeah.
And that one's been going too, the 5 years.
So it'll be 5.5 years. Now.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's pretty neat. So, and we was talking. You say, "Hey, I get all my meats are fresh meat." So you're getting them in. Do you do the butcher work, or do you have a butcher?
So I do some of it. Obviously, when we started, I did a lot more of it.
Right.
As you continue to go, it's really hard. Now with 3, it's really hard for me to a lot of these items also, although they come fresh from local vendors and local farms. We got Creation Gardens, which is an unbelievable supplier. It's a state of the art supply house that just bar none. And you can quantify and qualify things differently, but just I can see a piece of Inside Round, for example, just a piece of Primal, and I know you put 3 of them, different categories. I know which just by looking at it. I know exactly which one's better than the other one. So yeah, we get our stuff fresh here. I butcher some of it. Some of it already comes pre-vacuum sealed, and we just basically process it from then.
Nice.
It just makes it makes the turn of the product go faster.
Right, because I imagine if it was even if it's like a whole cow or something like that, it takes a lot of space just to even break it down and prepare it, get it ready.
It does. So we have processors, like Creation Gardens does that, Northside Meats does that, Troyer's does that, and they just bring it in smaller pieces for you to be able to then do the micro butchering. Yeah.
Another thing I like about your place too is we did the stuffed peppers and things like that before, and we did the chicken fajitas when I come up by it and I take it home and fry it.
Yeah.
But we also do a lot of lunch there because y'all sell a lot of hot food too, already ready to go. So for our lunches, it's pretty quick to run down there and get this monstrous salad, which
I love that. You have the taco salad every time you go, right?
Yeah, I normally get a taco salad.
Yeah, that's our number one salad. In all 3, it's not just that one's not segmented to area. That one it's not regionalized. That one's our number one salad. Period. But yeah, we have a huge variety for being, because of we were just talking a little bit about COVID. Because of COVID, the way things, obviously the workforce got diluted. For so long, it's still diluted, right? We're still experiencing, and a lot of self-employed and business owners are experiencing this still to this day. But as we open our second and our third, part of the tacticality and part of the strategy was because sometimes it's hard to bring people in. We've based our business model when it comes to square footage to about 8 to 1,000 square feet, so that way it's manageable. Just in case 2 people call in or one person, so that way you don't have to shut down the place. Because I've seen friends of mine, in Florida and Georgia, Louisiana, where staffing was an issue and they just could not be in 3 places at the same time.
Yeah.
So
that's the thing about scaling up. Everybody, when you're we talk about scaling up all the time, more and more and more. But then every time you add more, like the growth always feels good, but also the more pressure comes in.
Absolutely.
And then whenever you have employees, if they're not 100% dedicated, they're just like, that's where I work at. They'd be quick to make an excuse not to show up, but you're counting on them.
Right.
You're counting on them to be there for you, and it can be challenging sometimes.
Yeah, so some of the challenges, like you just said, you hit it right in the head. It's you have, as a business owner, you can't just wake up in the morning and say, this is what I'm going to do today.
No.
You're planning the day before, 2 days before, a week before. And you're planning, as part of your plan is that these associates, these individuals that you entrust them with your business and they almost become family, right?
Yeah.
So these extended family member, you're counting on that person to show up. Now your plan needs to be completely reconversed and just
Right.
it wipes it out, and then it's let's figure this out again
Right, exactly.
on the fly.
Yeah, on the fly, constantly. I feel like that's my every day is on the fly. Like in our world, when I come to work, it's I never really know exactly what to expect because it could be a very smooth day where I'm like, oh, it was a very smooth day, or it could be a meltdown day, right? We might have a bunch of them and everybody's panic mode.
Yeah, again, when you have one of those smooth, everything's going right day, you just count your blessings.
Yeah,
and move on,
absolutely. Be like, oh, that's,
I
oh,
wish I
nice.
could copy paste,
Yeah,
copy
right. I'd
paste,
like to
copy
do it
paste.
like I did yesterday, right?
Right,
Exactly.
right.
So let's see. Another thing that we was talking about on that new location. Are they doing the same thing down there as they doing in Shepherdsville with the hot food
So we are. I mean, we're doing that in all three locations.
at all three
All
locations?
three locations. But what changes from location to location is assortment. Shepherdsville assortment and the variety we have, the offering that we have in the Shepherdsville is pretty similar to the Mount Washington. Now you go downtown, it's a little different.
Okay.
It's so I customize, or we like to customize the store with what the customers are asking for. Obviously, I'm not going to sell something. For example, I don't sell a lot of strip loin or filet mignon downtown. I sell some of it, but not a lot. Now, my number one item in Mount Washington is filet mignon. It's fillets, So it's just different. It's a different demographics. It's a different pod, different pot of people. So we just want to cater to the customers that we have in that, for the most part, in that area. And we've already, after 5.5 years of being there, we have plenty of data to know what is the best offering for our downtown location.
Now, and one of the things I noticed at the Shepherdsville place was that there's also some, like, I guess I would call them like exotic kinds of meats with like kangaroo, bison, I believe.
Yeah, we have. I mean, it's funny because that was more of a pilot that I wanted to run to see if it's something that was going to work out for us. If it's something that is there a need in the community for that type of offering. And so yeah, I mean, just like you said, we have bison, we have buffalo, which is basically the similarity, and camel. We sell so much camel,
Really?
so much camel, and that's in all three stores.
It's funny. I don't think I've ever eaten camel.
It's actually pretty. I was pleasantly surprised tasting camel. Kangaroo, I recommend it hands down. I love kangaroo, but I love kangaroo before I even started bringing in kangaroo.
What does the kangaroo taste like? What is it? What would you compare it to?
Listen, the way we have it, we put it in it's grounded. It's in ground form, and we do kangaroo spaghetti.
Really?
And it's just mind blowing.
Nice.
It's mind blowing.
What, is it like a hamburger consistency?
Yeah. Pretty identical. It's just a little leaner.
A little leaner.
Yeah. Well, actually, a lot leaner.
Oh, a whole lot leaner.
You're looking at 97.3, 98.2. I mean,
wow.
yeah, that's
pretty lean.
Yeah, that's if you're into one of these protein, system diets. I mean, that's kangaroo. It's the way to go if you can afford it. I mean, it is pretty pricey. You're talking about close to $30 a pound. So.
Right. And I imagine that comes from we've got a connection somewhere where there's kangaroos at.
It comes from obviously having to import it from New Zealand or Australia.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, we don't have kangaroo farms.
No,
in the
no
US.
kangaroo farms around here.
Now a lot of camel farms are popping up in the U.S. now.
Really?
Yes. So camel, come to find out, camel has it's iron-rich meat. And people who are going through chemos, people who are anemic, people who struggle with just being lethargic, just kind of, a thyroid. This would be the right stuff for you to, consume because it's rich in iron and it gives you that kick, So a lot of people, again, and then you learn things along the way that you didn't know, like just with that, when we just spoke about the camel, I did not know about how it can benefit people that are going through, struggles, health-wise. So we're not trying to sell it as that, but you know what? If a customer is going through some type of struggle in the health department, then I would recommend it because I want that person to feel better, So, and again, we're just not camel, kangaroo, bison. I mean, we got wild boar, we got rabbit, we got alligator, we have turtle,
Right.
we have
Frog legs.
frog legs, we have alligator and andouille sausage. We have, I mean, the variety, and it blows away as soon as it comes in.
Yeah.
The hard part is trying to get it back.
Getting it back
It's
again.
it's not readily available.
Right,
It's
it's not
not
easy.
like me calling a supplier and say, "Hey, I need all
Send
this."
me some more
Correct.
camels.
Yeah. Sometimes once I run out, it'll take me 3 weeks to get it back in.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty wild. And I imagine too, it's a little exotic for us in the county,
Yeah.
but
Well, people have adopted it. People have adopted it pretty well, and I think there's an element of I didn't even know that you could eat this.
I didn't know you could eat camel. I didn't know that camel was a thing. But it sounds like it would be ideal, like you said, for somebody who's especially the chemo, right?
Yeah.
It sounds like hey, you can have this. Even I guess do you prepare it the same way? Like
Well,
a camel
everything.
burger?
So here's again in its strategic level. Everything that us business owners, we have to think, what is just in case something goes wrong? Like,
Right.
did I buy? I mean, I'm not buying $2.90 a
Right.
pound item. These are expensive, and if you don't sell this, unfortunately, I mean, you're holding to a lot of inventory dollars,
Mm-hmm.
and inventory cash flow in a small business is king,
It is.
right?
Yep.
So in a strategic way, although there's other forms of buying, there's fillets, there's ribs, I mean, you could have,
Really?
I mean, you have the anatomy of
The whole cow.
right,
Yeah,
the whole cow or the whole alligator
camel.
of the whole kangaroo or whatever.
Right.
I buy everything right now, and it's doing really well. Actually, it's doing exceptional. I buy it in ground form because it is much more friendlier for somebody to see. I know what I can do with this. I can do some sloppy joes with it if I had to. I can do spaghetti. I can do burgers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's so many. It's in people's mind. It's like, okay, so it's grounded. I know how to. I know how to manage this in a ground form.
Right.
You start bringing, kangaroo fillets. How do I cook this? It's too lean. Am I going to burn it? Do I reverse sear it? Do I?
Right.
Then it becomes, and of course we can tell you, because a lot of customers, they have that confidence in us, and they'll, "Hey, I really don't know how to cook this. How would you recommend I cook this?" Like with I don't know if you've had you probably have, I'm sure, our Texas Twinkies,
I have not.
which is the jalapeno, stuffed jalapenos
Oh, okay.
with like, so it's almost like a bacon wrapped cream cheese jalapeno.
Okay.
But
Sounds delicious.
what makes it the Texas Twinkie, what gives it the name is that we put brisket under that bacon, cooked brisket.
Yeah.
And when you bite into it, I mean, some people don't know how to cook them. They don't know how to prepare them. They don't know. All you have to do, it's already prepared for you. All you have to do is put it, who doesn't have an air fryer right now, right?
Right.
Put it in the air fryer, 10 minutes, 8 minutes, 350 degrees, out the door, man. You got the best hors d'oeuvre you can have out there.
That's the thing too about the taco salad is that you're using the brisket on the
Yes.
taco salad. Very good.
Yes.
Very good. It's a whole lot.
Yeah.
A whole lot there.
Oh, yeah.
And
that's another thing. We have that taco salad converts itself in 3 different salads. So you could have the brisket on top, you can have the pulled chicken on top, or you can have the pulled pork on top.
yeah.
So yeah.
That's good stuff,
Oh yeah, it makes you hungry. Just
does make me
listen,
hungry.
Yeah, just listening to it.
Thinking about it, I was like, man, I should have stopped there today. I was all over the place and I was running around. I was like, I need to get back here. All kind of things. And I haven't eaten anything today, so this conversation is really
Oh
gonna,
man, yeah, this
really
is not.
gonna
You're
get us
going to
good.
suffer through this one.
That's okay. It's okay. We're going to make it. So what do you think? What do you see in the future
For Galans.
for Galans?
So Galans, obviously, we spoke about this. COVID really,
Yeah.
did a number on business owners, small business owners. And, although, like I was telling you earlier, we actually, I hate to say this, but we actually gained ground at the downtown store because there was one point, I don't know if you remember this, I'm sure you do, there was a huge national meat shortage.
Mm.
This was in the beginnings when everybody was getting sick rapidly and all these plants were getting, they were getting
Right.
massively sick. and they had to let people go
I
for a few
remember
weeks.
Tyson got shut down for a while.
Correct. Tyson, Sherwood, Purdue. So there was quite a few of them out there, whether they were processing beef or poultry. When that happened, I almost saw what was going on, and I played. It was almost a shot in the dark, where I started sourcing beef. So I wouldn't be, because that would have killed me. Those 3 or 4 weeks would have killed the business.
Right.
Because ground beef is your number one selling item at a butcher shop, bar none.
Right.
It's like almost, you having a candy store and not having Snickers as part of your assortment. That's the number one, candy bar in the world, right? So that's our Snickers in the butcher world, right? Or in the meat market world. So I bought, I believe it was over $3,000 or $4,000 worth of frozen beef, and I froze it. And I just said, you know what? It might take me a while to sell it, but I do not. I think there's a huge opportunity, because if this pans out and plays out, and this is exactly how it happened, COVID got even worse. I had all this in my frozen storage, and I was able to grind this beef for our customers that otherwise they wouldn't be able to get. So at one point, I got to the store at 9 o'clock in the morning, and there were 72 people waiting outside.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
We got pictures of that. And they would wait as long as they had to wait, because they were coming from Glasgow. They were coming from the just across Tennessee. It was literally something out of a movie. And I played, I kind of like dove into that and see how it played out. And what it created was a huge amount of marketing for us, because people were just going on Google meat market, and they were just calling 20 of them until they hit us. And they were getting no from each meat market, and then we were the yes meat market. So we were able to gain a lot of recurring business from that. So people are still thankful for those times. We still get people in saying, man, we just you don't know what that meant to us as a family. A family of 4, 2 kids. I mean, it's you don't value things sometimes, unfortunately, but when they're gone, that's when you start valuing things. There's a whole cliche, you don't know what you got till it's gone, but it's so true. So we actually thrived during COVID, because although everybody else was struggling on this type of, even the Krogers. I mean, Krogers didn't have meat. I mean, it was even big boxes. We never ran out of meat. So to me, that was just, although it was shot in the dark and we didn't know how it was going to pan out, but it was, the risk reward was definitely worth doing, and we reaped the reward for sure.
That brings us back to what you was talking about earlier, the importance of that neighborhood butcher.
Yeah.
You can go in there, they're going to know you. Hey, I recognize you. I say, hey, how you doing? You're providing that service, because whenever the Krogers don't have it, whenever those places are shut down for whatever reason, your neighborhood butcher still had it, and that it seems like we'd want to patronize those places more, because they're there whenever you need them to come together. You needed the meat, like you said, the families needed the food.
Yeah, well, you're not, you're exactly right. You're not at our place, and that goes for every small business. I'm just talking, I can only really talk about our place, right? But our place, you're not a number. You're really, we know where you're going on vacation. We know your grandkids' names. We know if we miss you when we haven't seen you over a week. Are you okay? Well, no, I had the flu, whatever. I mean, there is something there that has unquantifiable value, So, and you can't quantify it, because I love when I walk into a place and they say, hey, Mr. Carlos, how you doing? Hey, Mr. Galan, how you doing? Hey, Carlos, whatever they call me, just in the West End area where we're at, in Galan's one, I go to places, I go to let's say I don't know, I ran out of onions and I got to wait until GFS or whoever my provider of onions gets there a couple of days from now, and I need a Gap stop. I'll stop, at Kroger to buy myself a couple of bags of onions. and people are yelling. When I walk in, hey, there's my meat man. There's the meat man.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, but do
Yeah.
you feel you feel ownership and pride of being part of the community?
Whenever people like you, and I understand that exactly because I'm always called the computer guy or our computer guy.
Right.
And it does say, hey, I'm. It makes you feel good that you're providing this service and they're happy with you and they're showing you their gratitude by acknowledging you out in the public, right? Hey, yeah, hey, how you doing?
It's great.
Yeah, it feels good every time.
Absolutely. Well, back to your question about what's next for Galans. We were also talking a little bit about this earlier, and really, I think there's another Galans opening probably on the other side of the bridge.
Yeah,
I think that would be.
that would make sense.
We have a lot of customers that, and we've done. We have enough data. And again, I'm just such a data collector. I think data is everything, right? So, data tells us that what we that's our next stop. And right after that, or even prior to that, we're talking to some agencies. One predominantly in New York and Brooklyn, where I think there's definitely interest in franchising this concept. So that really has my juices going.
That would be super cool.
Yeah.
That would be super cool. It'd be neat to see that logo up in New York, different places.
It would be cool. And I just, again, we look at it as big box retail has managed to kill butchers.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
And there's something there. There's something to be said about butchers, And I understand it's the liability you're dealing with saws. I understand is the pay. I mean, butchers, that's a specialty position. You're not paying butchers $12 an hour, $15 an hour. So I understand it's a cost-effective way to bring down your operation costs, but you're losing so much more.
Mm-hmm.
In our case, we need to be good at what we do because that's all we do. These big box retailers, they're in the everything business. So it's okay to not have an unbelievable, once you cycle the numbers year after year, we don't need to have an unbelievable meat department because meats, that category usually runs a low margin.
Right.
So they're not really focusing on that. They're focusing on the high margin stuff. Mm-hmm. They're in the everything business. Mm-hmm. So whatever we don't collect here, we can make up in margin over here. Mm-hmm. So we have to be good. They don't have to be good at what they do. We have to because that's all we got. So, and that's what we pride ourselves on doing, being great at what we do because, we appreciate and we don't take this lightly when it comes to our customers. They are basically allowing us to put that food in their plate when they're cooking. I mean, that's serious. That's something they're ingesting.
Yeah, you're entrusting you.
That's, we're not buying, it's not clothing, this is something that's going through your system. Mm-hmm. So they're trusting us with that, and we don't take that lightly. We really appreciate, obviously, all three stores. What the communities in all three stores have been phenomenal to us, and we're excited. Going back to the franchising side, we're excited if we can bring butchery back, which is what retail has tried to kill for the last 10 years. I think it'll be real nice to see this new generation understand the importance of getting something fresh like that and providing that freshness to your families. So.
And obviously it's working out because of the customers coming back. And I mean, you have a loyal customer base that keeps coming back. So, I mean, the word is spreading. Sometimes it takes a little longer than we hope it does, but I mean, it's still getting out there, and that's super, super cool. There was another thing that I just thought of a second ago, and it was about that, and it has completely jumped to my mind. I have no idea how it got away.
Okay.
Hey, so and you're from Florida?
I actually am originally from Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
Yes, small island off the Caribbean. I'm sure you know where it's at.
Heard of it? Yeah.
But if our audience don't know where Puerto Rico is, we are about 1,200 miles south of Florida.
Oh wow! Okay.
We're sandwiched in between Cuba and the Virgin Islands.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're right next to the Dominican Republic.
Now, is the deli the only business that you have, or do you have other businesses? Your sister the other day mentioned something that she said, "Oh, Carlos is in all kind of stuff."
So we again, I right now this is my focus it's on
The deli.
this right now.
Yeah.
Of course, we have real estate. We have rental properties.
Right.
That's another passive income business model side of things. We are we're looking right now into opening an Airbnb down in Puerto Rico.
Oh, very nice.
So-
Plus a place you can
Yeah,
stay.
yeah, we could stay. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously we can
Stay with your friends and family.
Yeah, and when I still have family in Puerto Rico also, so that, they'll be able to use on those blackout, not on the blackout dates, right? Because Puerto Rico, I don't know if you've been there or not. But
No, I've never been there.
Puerto Rico, it's obviously it's a warm weather country, and the average temperature there it's about 95 degrees. So it would be common for you to wake up Christmas morning and be 106 degrees.
Okay.
That would be common. So there's no changing of the leaves. We don't have a fall. I mean, we have a fall, but we don't see. I mean, it's evergreen all year round.
Right.
So,
What brought you to Kentucky?
well, first of all, at the time I've always been in big box retail. That's been my basically my career has been in big box retail. I was a district manager for Kmart. I was a store manager for Walmart in the international division in Puerto Rico. And then after that, I was a regional vice president for Family Dollar. I was a director of operations for a company called Agro Trade America down in Miami. And I kind of like, we did well. My wife and I was an HR director for a big pharmaceutical company. And aviation before that. My wife as an HR director. And we just kind of took like this was what, 9 years ago, 10 years ago, we decided to take we need to kind of like relax and retire. We've done well for ourselves. Let's retire. We were at that point of our lives where we could retire. And we bought a little farm in Jupiter in Florida, Jupiter Farms area. And we had, we did the whole farming thing and, small animals and whatever. And in the business side of things, of course, I stayed in touch with a lot of my colleagues. A call came in one day and said, "Hey, they need a regional up in the Louisville area." This was for Family Dollar, and so I'm not interested. I'm done with that.
Right.
And my wife says to me, well, I have my because they're going to fly me regardless just to do a panel interview with me here at the Crown Plaza. And my wife said, well, let's just take the trip, whether it's something you want to do after you listen to them or not. My cousin's there, my first cousin's there. I haven't seen her in 15 years. We just spend the weekend there, So I'm like, okay, let's do it. So we sat, at the Crown Plaza, had our interview, and, we're discussing now. It's the finality of it is discussing numbers. How do we bring you on board, kind of thing. And I said, well, I don't think you guys are willing to pay what I will be asking for, but regardless, the guy actually slipped me. We were at a table like this. He slipped me a little piece of paper. He goes, "Why don't you write the number down?" So I wrote the number down. What I thought, for me to move all the way up here, and I mean, there was no discussion. The guy got up, called corporate office, got her approved, and that was
They want
that.
you.
Yeah.
They wanted you to come on board.
Well, they later found out that they were going to close this market.
Oh.
If somebody did not come in, and it's what they called a heavy extreme urban market. A lot of losses, a lot of shrink.
Okay.
So the juice wasn't worth the squeeze when it came to keeping them open, right?
Right.
So, and that was at the time when Dollar Tree was buying them, so they could, restructure and close whatever they had to close. So they bring me on board, and I started buying property while I'm doing that, traveling all across Green Earth, trying to get these stores ready and staffed and just the merchandising right and the sales up and the shrink down, expenses down. And I start buying property, which is, I guess it was a taboo at the end. At first it was like, why are you buying property in the West End? But, we just started buying property, rehabbing, renting, we got up to 47 properties.
Yeah, nice.
And, of course, we ended up selling them all after we saw, the property value go up, and we did well. And we still kept some apartments, and we kept where our location, our downtown location is. So we have apartments on top, and we have the butcher shop on the bottom. So that's really how I got to Kentucky. It was completely unplanned. There was nothing. Honestly, I don't know if I knew where Kentucky was, but I never really looked into Louisville before.
Right.
You know, there was no need, and I'm really glad. And I tell my wife till today, I tell her that I wish, after meeting the people here, dealing with the people here, just you want to call it Southern hospitality, you want to call it, it's different individuals here, and I mean that in the best way possible. I wish I would have gotten to Kentucky 30 years ago, not 9, 10 years ago.
And it's funny because you didn't even need all that time to be able to say Louisville, how we do. Sometimes people would be like, did you start off saying Louisville or something?
Well, I probably did, but I came here to meet the president of the company, Ariel at the time, for $1. Well, he was actually the divisional president, not the president, the division. There was 2 divisionals, one West Coast, one East Coast, and then you had the president. Ariel, he wanted to meet me, so he flew me up here weeks after that, and he was originally from Louisville, and I guess I said Louisville a few times. He was like, "Listen, man, if you're gonna survive this is the proper
you gotta say it right? Even or say it wrong, I guess I should say, because that's how we all say it.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty important. That's how here we're able to identify, be like, oh, you're not really from around here. You're calling it Louisville or whatever. That it rolls off your tongue.
I find it funny because even the sportscasters, when they're doing the Louisville, the programming or their football, whatever, they say Louisville. It's not.
Right, well,
I guess that's the proper
that's
way
the
of
way
saying
you're
it.
supposed to say it. That's how we know they're pretending for everybody else. You're like, oh, okay, you're not really involved. Hey, it's been a great conversation with you here.
Awesome. That's been great.
I would like if you tell me one more time the addresses to those 3 locations.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got Portland.
Yeah, so we have Portland, which is located at 2801 West Market Street. Then we have Shepherdsville, which is 1256. You said it's not State Road.
It's Highway 44.
It's Highway 44 East in Shepherdsville. And then we have our newest location, which we just opened the beginning of the month, 1st of November, which is located at 435 North Barstown Road,
Right.
sandwiched between Sissy's Tacos and
Dairy Queen.
Dairy Queen, correct.
And the one in Shepherdsville is right next to Bullitt Central High School.
Right
so
next
it's
to Bullitt Central,
very easy to find, man. Y'all have great food. People can go there for lunch. You can pick up dinner on the way home. You can get in and get out pretty quickly. You don't have to go stand in the long lines unless it's 72 people lined up to ready to get some stuff. But that was unique circumstance.
Crazy times, yeah.
Hey, I appreciate you. Thanks for coming in. This is my outro.
Oh, man, that's great.
I did it wrong, but it's fine. Carlos, thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Just before I leave, if anybody mentions the podcast and they come to the stores, we'll give them a 20% discount on whatever. If
awesome.
That would be
awesome.
that would be great for you.
That will be great. That way we'll know.
Absolutely.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.